Is Naveen. Eh? So among the carcinogens, we mostly talk about is prevention. I think any of the carcinogens could be prevented through food and nutrition management. So, तिमीहरू सल्लाह गर्छौ क्या अब क्लास लिन्छ अहिले भनेपछि अनि कल गर्ने आई एम वेटिङ फर मोर देन 15 minutes र अबदेखि मैले यो सवाल छ भन्दा पछाडि इन्ट्री गर्दिन है okay that we sometimes say in medical terms or in statistical terms the meta-analysis the second one and third one is just individual studies but that involves many groups and measured in a single point of time तिम्रो एक वर्षभित्र एक क्यान्सर सम्बन्धी कतिवटा रिसर्च भएको छ त्यस्तो त्यस we say a particular cancer है जस्तो endometrial cancer, eye cancer, mouth cancer, okay, placental cancer. These kind of studies done within a time frame is known as cross-sectional studies, okay. And there are more predominant number of deaths of people in the United States than in any other countries, and that's mostly due to, and that does not include the deaths record from cancer by smoking, okay. So nutrition, if you know if you want to know the etiology of cancer, but potato has some risk if the tuber is open to sun, okay. Potato has a problem and from the Solanaceae family and others are the pink grapefruit and other color fruits like watermelon from Crucifery, okay. के भन्छ watermelon कुन family को who could be tested. So there is also the group, the red purple color, mostly coming from the anthocyanins and polyphenols. सुजनन थापा भोलिदेखि 6:15 यो टाइम है म यो क्लास लिन सुरु गरेपछि कति राम्रो लाग्दैन मलाई ठिक लाग्दैन तिमी भन्दा भन्दै पनि आइहाल्छ कि नआऊ ओके त्यसपछि अर्को कलर कोड छ द ऑरेंज कलर एस्टी मोस्टली फ्रम आइदर अल्फा or beta carotene those from root crops mangoes and pumpkin त्यसै अर्को कलर कोडहरु छ द ऑरेंज येलो द beta cryptoganthin and some flavonoids त्यस्तै तिमी ग्रीन भेजिटेबल ग्रीन पट्सहरु खान्छौ भने देयर मे बी lutein and zeaxanthin that orders to yellow green color they are coming from spinach avocado the honeydew collard and turnip collard भनेको थाहा छ नि do you know collard it is a cole crop I think okay then there are also some sulfur containing compounds mostly from crucifery they are cabbage broccoli brussels sprouts and cauliflower okay त्यस्तै अरु छ white green compoundहरु mostly they contain the allyl sulfides they are coming from onion garlic chives and leeks okay there are some color codes they may directly interfere the promotion of carcinogen in human body and they are mostly from different food fruits and vegetable resources. Okay, this after we'll deal separately in plant phytochemicals. Just a hint about the compounds. Okay, So there are some dietary guidelines for cancer prevention. One is to choose a diet rich in variety of plant-based foods. Second is to eat plenty of vegetables and fruits. नेपालको fruits and vegetables per day serving कति हो थाहा छ? Hardly 1 to 2, but it is recommended 4 to 6 servings to prevent carcinogens. यो ओल्ड हेल्थ अर्गनाइजेसन भनेको चिज हो, तर हाम्रो देशमा we are doing only hardly 2 times a day. Okay, so third one is to maintain the healthy weight and the physically active. Fourth one is to prevent alcohol. Okay, and the fifth one is to select the food low in fat and salt. And sixth one is prepare and store food safely. So the junk food, that means to prevent the junk food. Okay? So tobacco is that has high flavonoids, alkaloids, and this high alkaloid containing food is to be prevented well, like tobacco. Okay. So then mostly the cancer experiments are done with some laboratory animals. We use mice or some other kind of small animals. Okay, so let's go to fat and how fat is responsible to increase the carcinogen in human body. And fat is linked to or the fat is sourced from saturated fat is associated with breast, colon, lung, and prostate cancers. And that is mostly in women than in men. Okay, then high fat diets are associated with obesity, which is linked with the colon cancer, the rectum cancer, and the endometrium of females, the gallbladder cancer, the stones, and the esophageal cancer, and the kidney cancers also. So the animal fat is associated with increased risk of breast cancer in the nurses, health history, and others found. And basically the typical omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids containing food may be good to prevent the cancer. पहिलो order के हो omega-3 fatty acids. Second order of food may be the omega-6 containing foods. Third one is likely to consume omega-9 containing foods. Okay, जस्तो omega-3 भनेको linoleic acid, omega-6 भनेको There so many fatty acids, omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9. Right? If the cholesterol definition, you have to know SDL, high density lipoprotein, and low density lipoprotein, and very low density lipoprotein. SDL, LDL, and VLDL in sense of cholesterol, and in sense of human food important fatty acids, they are omega-3. There are some examples, omega-6 and omega-9. Okay, and low fat diet, less than 20% fat may reduce the risk of reoccurrence of breast cancers. Okay, more than 20%. Less than 20%. Low fat diet may contain the risk of reoccurrence of breast cancer. तिम्रो actually cancer भइसकेको छ, तिम्रो डाइटमा चाहिँ फ्याट कम छ भने that may reduce the risk of reoccurrence of breast cancer. So then other things are also related. One is the energy intake and the physical activity, and the total energy intake is strongly associated with the cancer in postmenopausal women. And physical activity at least 3.8 hours per week is enough to prevent the risk of colon and reproductive cancers in women. Right? There is a women because women are most sensitive group of people than the men. So there are obesity is the main cause of the risk factor, the main risk factor for different kind of cancers. One is for breast cancer, colon cancer, the endometrial cancer, the esophageal cancer, gallbladder, pancreatic cancer, kidney cancer, and they are all obesity is also risk factor for cancer reoccurrence. जब तिमी धेरै इन्टेक इनर्जी इन्टेक गर्छौ एकचोटि ट्रिटमेन्ट गरेको क्यान्सर पनि द्याट मे बी रिकर्ड वेन energy intake is very high. Okay, so protein has some effects in that may impart in increasing the carcinogen in human body. One is because the protein sometimes comes with high salt and high fat, what low in fiber diet. Okay, just a piece whenever fish may be salty. Okay, if the sea if capture the sea fish that may be salty, but it has high protein diet but comes with fat and low in fiber. And low protein diets seem to reduce the risk of cancer, while risk is increased by very high protein intakes. Very high protein that may lead to advanced prostate cancer and colon cancer. Okay? So then third one is the intake of fiber is very important. For one healthy man, 27 gram of fiber, food fiber, is recommended to consume per day. That's the recommendation of WHO. Right? If food fiber पनि हामी छुट्टै लेक्चरमा पढ्छौँ. त्यस्तो अर्को छ carbohydrates and glycemic index of food. And high glycemic index, that means more starch containing diet, is associated with increased risk of cancer, including ovarian cancer, endometrial breast, colorectal, pancreatic, and the lung cancers. So it is advised to use the limited, or it is advised to use the less consumption of junk foods and refined sugars that and emphasize whole grains and low glycemic index foods. Junk food junk food has a high energy activity, enzymatic activity, and that may lead to other kind of colorectal cancers. Okay, so then if you go to fruits and vegetables, they are good sources as a preventive material, and fruits and vegetables found to be associated with lower risk in 128 of 156 dietary studies. Right? So then they might have very special role in the prevention of carcinogens. And increased consumption of fruits and vegetables is associated with low risk of cancers, maybe oral cavity cancer, esophageal cancer, stomach, colon, rectum, and gallbladder. Okay, and there is evidence less strong for hormone-related cancers such as breast and prostate cancer. Prostate cancer, there is no proof that fruits and vegetables can prevent them. Okay. So then people who develop cancer tend to have low intakes of raw and fresh vegetable, leafy green vegetables, and cruciferous vegetables, and flavonoids and lignans. They are associated with lower risk of sex hormone-related cancers. Just a lignan. Do you know lignans? This is a lignocellulosic compound, and it is looking like a gel. Right? तिमी कुनै plant खाँदा त्यही sap जस्तो आउँछ, but it has no taste. This is lignan. Right? जस्तो soybean खाँदा, कुनै grain food खाँदा, vegetable खाँदा, it has that. This is not totally solid, but it looks like fiber. Pradeep. Okay. So there green vegetable you may have flavonoids and lignans, right? And that's mostly from the stems. So fruits and vegetables, they contain very low energy and good sources of fiber, vitamins and minerals, and also the sources some antioxidants and pigments, right? Carotenoids and flavonoids, the plant sterols, lutein we just talked about before, and some allyl disulfide allyl compounds, indoles, and some phenolic compounds like tannin and terpenes. Okay, these compounds are responsible to prevent the cancer. So do not ignore what is protective so best use food sources है हामी यो माध्यमबाट किन क्यान्सरको प्रिभेन्ट चाहिँ हुन्छ तर त्यसको एक्ज्याक्ट रिजन के हो वी डोन्ट नो इट okay then plant based food may prevent cancer because inhibiting hormone dependent steps in tumor formation and because the food derived from plants have inhibiting hormone dependent steps in tumor formation and protecting genetic material from carcinogenic agents first while is the carcinogen inhibit garcha there is also potential to suppress the free radical production and third one is serving as bulking agents to dilute carcinogens पहिले के गर्छ कार्सिनोजेनले इनिबिट गर्छ दोस्रो फ्री रेडिकललाई रिमुभ गर्छ सप्रेस गर्छ त्यसो के हो भएको चाहिँ कार्सिनोजेनिक मेटेरियल त्यसले डाइल्युट गर्छ प्लान्ट बेस्ड फूडको कम्पाउन्डहरुले ओके देन फोर्थ वान इज स्टिमुलेटर्स अफ फिजियोलोजिकली एक्टिभ एन्ड एन्टी क्यान्सर इन्जाइम जस्तो प्लान्ट बेस्ड फूडहरुमा त एन्टी क्यान्सर इन्जाइमहरु हुन्छ that may be beneficial to prevent the cancers but pathway is this okay just so inhibiting hormone dependent steps suppressing the free radical production serving as a dilution of carcinogenic material fourth one is stimulator of anti-cancer enzymes okay so then chemo prevention हामी जान्दैनौं but you can read it yourself. Then most one is the mineral intake. There's some mineral intake is also responsible to prevent the cancers and diet rich in calcium may also prevent the colorectal cancer and colorectal polyps. However, there is evidence that high calcium intake, especially supplement, is associated with increased risk of prostate cancer. Okay? Because the calcium metabolism is related to hormonal metabolism. Right? Just the calcitonin okay so when they are much produced and there may be effect on the prostate part of the body or the prostate part of the prostate hormone bhन्छ नि prostate के हो prostate regulates the urinary bladder है prostate hormone ले के गर्छ urinary bladder खुम्चिने फुक्ने कन्ट्रोल गर्छ prostate को बिरामीहरुले कतिखेर पिसाब आए थाहै पाउँदैनन् okay so these kind of risks can be prevented with regular use of calcium but not supplement right supplement just the calcium source is not recommended to use in solo form but may be used in terms of other related macro or micro minerals the mixed minerals that's okay I can recommend but solo consumption of calcium tablets is not recommended to people because calcium is dominant to many other vitamins and many other microminerals and macrominerals. Right? The calcium phosphorus they have opposite metabolism and calcium also reduces the magnesium uptake. Right? Calcium is also antagonistic to some micronutrients, zinc, molybdenum, and also to the sulfur. Right? Especially calcium intake is is to be done on limited basis. So there is also the beneficial use of some color foods, for example, tomato. The natural compound or the natural pigment present in tomato, known as lycopene, is believed to prevent the skin cancer. Okay, not only lycopene, but that also coming from eggplant is responsible to prevent the skin cancer during summer. Okay. त्यसैले तराई रिजनको मान्छेहरूले धेरै भेन्डा र टमाटो खानुको कारण पनि that may be something natural cause okay so preserved meat खानुको अर्को के फाइदा छ है जस्तो some studies link eating large amount of preserved meat to increase risk of colorectal and stomach cancers most probably from the red meat consumption right and it may or may not be due to nitrite concentration in this meat, but nitrites can be converted into stomach to carcinogenic nitrosamines, which may increase the risk of stomach cancer. Right? रातो मासुले के गर्छ तिम्रो stomachमा चाहिँ के गर्छ that may be converted to nitrosamine during digestion process and which may increase the risk of stomach cancer. Fruits and vegetables retard the conversion of nitrites to nitrosamine, and regular use of fruits and vegetables together with red meat is recommended. And frying, boiling, and grilling meat at high temperatures also create some chemical that might cause cancer risk. Right? But you should not fry it, but you can braise it, steam it, pulsing it, you can stew it, and microwaving. Right? You can do this kind of exercise to process meat before consumption. है त्यसलाई चाहिँ फ्राइङ बोइलिङ एन्ड ग्रिलिङ गरेको चिज चाहिँ खानु त्यो चाहिँ के हो मासुमा चाहिँ जब मासु पोल्छ नि देयर इज रिलिज अफ नाइट्रेट्स है नाइट्रेटको सोर्स के हो देयर इज ड्यू टु बर्निङ है बर्निङ गरेको बडी फ्राइङ गरेको चाहिँ खानु भएन ओके सो then another cancer preventing source is soybean and soy contains several phytochemicals estrogens, phytoestrogens and lutein hormones, which have weak estrogen activity and appear to protect against hormone-dependent cancers in animal studies. But no evidence shows supplements reduce the cancer risk. Even natural food compounds of that's okay, but similar to lycopene, the additional soybean the supplement cannot help to prevent the hormone-dependent cancers in humans. Then high dose of soybean may increase the risk of estrogen-responsive cancers such as breast or endometrial cancers in women. And breast cancer survivors should consume only moderate amount of soybean. Hey, badamas धेरै खानु हुँदैन भन्नु कारण हो. Okay, then alcohol, you know it. Then how it is related to too much energy reserved in the body. And how it alters the metabolism that then I don't need to go too much on alcohol. So coffee and tea have investigated as a possible risk factor for a variety of cancers, but does not appear to be associated with increased cancer rate in the body. केही मात्रामा स्लो पोइजन हो यो यसले क्यान्सर बढाइहाल्दैन है बट यो चाहिँ के हो भने कुनै न कुनै फर्मको क्यान्सर बढाउन चाहिँ प्रमोट गर्न सक्छ है सो दिस डाइरेक्ट इन्भल्भ हुँदैन है यसले प्रमोट चाहिँ गर्न सक्छ त्यसैले इट इज बिलिभ टु बी द माइल्ड पोइजन इन ह्युमन फुड टी एन्ड कफी. So the regular drinking of green tea and other sources of polyphenols may reduce the risk of stomach cancer. Right? Even processed tea there may be chance of cancer, some form of cancer in colorectal or stomach cancer or this esophageal cancer. But green tea is helpful to prevent it. Right? That consumption of very hot drinks may increase the risk of esophageal cancer. यो धेरै तातो चिया खाने मान्छेहरुमा esophageal cancer को समस्या हुन सक्छ. Okay. Then artificial sweeteners. The first artificial sweetener used is the cyclamate, and it is banned. And then next one is but after 2000, cyclamate is also provoked, and it is given permitted to use in the public level. Then also is aspartame. It is also a cancer risk, also cancer causing artificial sweetener. Then mostly we might have 5 different kind of artificial sweeteners you can buy in the market is aspartame K, aspartame, neotame, saccharin, and sucralose. So in some chocolates we may get either sucralose, aspartame, or saccharin. अहिले बजारमा धेरै पाइने के हो saccharin हो, sucralose हो र neotame हो है सरी aspartame. Okay, then there are also other risks together with food. One is the hyperinsulinemia and cancer. The insulin resistance or hyperinsulinemia, higher estrogen levels, and insulin-like growth factor may act synergistically to promote tumor growth, particularly in the memory tumors. Okay. Then next is Naturally occurring carcinogens, there may be aflatoxins. Eh? You know, aflatoxins, they are basically from sourced from peanuts, saffron, maize, other food grains, and many other toxins from fruits and vegetables. They may promote benzopyrene, uh, जस्तो मासु पोल्दा त्यस्तो ट्यानिन ट्यानिन धेरै भएको प्लान्टहरू they may also promote cancer, right? And fungus infected food, either aflatoxin, vomitoxin, okay, ochratoxin containing foods, they might also promote cancer. And मासु चाहिँ धुवा लगाएर राखेको मासु माछा, this contain benzopyrene, के भन्छ धुवासो के धुवासो धुवासो लागेको माछामा चाहिँ खानुहुन्न. And naturally found in plant foods like celery, parsley, figs, mustard, pepper, citrus oil. They may be safe to eat, while this must be free from the pesticides. Okay. Then we say there may be some group of pesticides and herbicides. Or we collective terms we say dioxins. Dioxins are also the cause of cancers. Just when the green revolution started, and they also consume a lot of herbicides and pesticides in order to produce more food. With to now, there are more than 120 different dioxin compounds. They may be responsible for different kind of human diseases, skin related and system related problems. So then my food safety ma ke garina gari पढाउँदिन. Just I go to American Cancer Society Guide to Nutrition and Activity. It says eat a variety of healthful foods, eat 5 or more serving a variety of vegetable and fruits each day, but our national average is just 1 to 2. Okay? So include vegetables and fruits at every meal and for snacks, and eat a variety of vegetable and fruits. You know the color codes. At least 5 color codes per day is recommended. Oh, 5 to 6 serving ma, 5 to 6 color codes or mixed color codes are recommended. मैले सुरुमा एउटा टेबल देखाएको थिएँ त्यो फ्रुट कलरको फ्रुट भेजिटेबल कलरको, and you can use either of them. Then limit French fries, snack chips, that means junk foods. Then choose 100% juice if you drink fruit or vegetable juices other than the packed materials. So it also says choose whole grains instead the refined products. Choose whole grain rice, bread, pasta, and cereals. And also limit the consumption of refined carbohydrates, including bakery products, the sweetened cereals, soft drinks, and sugars. Then limit consumption of red meat, especially those high in fat and processed. And choose fish, poultry, or beans as an alternative for beef, pork, and lambs. Okay, that may be the poultry or the beans or the fish might be the good alternatives to different kind of red meats, those having high fat and other compounds. Then when you eat meat, select lean cuts and smaller portions other than fatty portions. Then prepare meat by baking, broiling, or poaching rather than by frying or paraboiling. Okay. Then also the American Cancer Society Guide also says choose foods that help maintain a healthy weight, healthful weight. When you eat away from home, choose food low in fat, calories, and sugar, and avoid large portions. Then eat a smaller portion of high calorie foods, and be aware to use low fat or fat free does not mean low calorie, and that low fat cakes, cookies, and similar foods are often high in calories. Just तिमीले बजारमा low calorie food लेखेछ भने पनि it is not so helpful, okay? Because these energy reserve foodstuffs might have high calories. Then substitute vegetables fruits, and other low-calorie foods for calorie-dense foods such as French fries, cheeseburgers, hamburgers, pizza, ice cream, donuts, and other sweets. Okay. Then there are some lifestyle recommendation, change recommendation for breast cancer people, reducing alcohol, breastfeeding, avoid obesity, being physically active, and for colon cancer affected people, increase physical activity, eat more vegetable and fruits. Similar, okay, the सबै practices similar हो सबै खालको क्यान्सरलाई. Then oesophageal cancer, the recommendation is also similar. Okay, then for pancreatic cancer, avoid tobacco use. Okay, instead food and physical activity management, and there is avoidance of tobacco consumption is also recommended to prevent the pancreatic cancer. So, for prostate cancers, that mostly due to high-fat dairy products, and it is recommended not to use this kind of dairy products. Cheese, hamburger, then eat fiber, more servings of vegetables with given color codes per day. So there are also some recommendations to prevent the stomach cancer. It says similar recommendation, but stomach cancer rates are falling due to reduced infection with S. pylori. Right? S. pylori is bacteria that may promote throw red meat in humans. Right? Yes, full form pylori भन्ने bacteria हुन्छ that promotes cancer when for people consuming high red meat. Right? High red meat पनि राम्रोसँग नपकाएको मान्छेले खायो भने there may be some stomach problems. That's due to S. pylori. Okay. Then to prevent there may be some food guidelines to prevent the cancers, but there are no some guidelines to prevent the brain cancer, leukemia, and ovarian cancers. In nutrition recommendations, okay. Then some other dietary recommendations for cancer survivors. Limit total fat intake to 15 to 20% of total calories. जति एनर्जी इन्टेक गर्छु त्यो त्यसको सोर्स चाहिँ फ्याट चाहिँ सोर्स एनर्जी चाहिँ 15 to 20% कम हुनु पर्यो है. फ्याट कम होइन 20% फ्याट भन्यो भने कि तिमी जति एनर्जी कन्ज्युम गर्छौ त्यसको 20% सम्म मात्रै फ्याटको सोर्स एनर्जी दिनु पर्यो. एन्ड चुज मोनो अनस्याचुरेटेड फ्याट्स देन saturated fats. Then aim for 10 to 12 daily servings of variety of whole vegetables and nuts and fruits, and consume 4 to 6 servings of whole grains daily. Okay, the breast cancer patients should eliminate or severely restrict alcohol intake. And there are also other guidelines in which say there is the recommendation of the consumption of vitamin E 200 IU per day to replace deficit from reduced fat intake. Right? जब फ्याट कम गरिन्छ डाइटमा त्यसपछि के हुन्छ other fat soluble vitamins might be lacking in the body, and it is recommended to use up to 200 IU per day of the vitamin E, and standard dose multivitamin daily, not exceeding 100% recommended daily allowance. Right? 5 ml per day हो भने यो चाहिँ 100% एक्सेड हुनु भएन. And exercise moderately 30 minutes daily walk for an example, and maintain desirable body weight. Okay, आज यति गरौँ. यो सजिलो च्याप्टर हो. देन अरु क्यान्सरको फिजियोलोजी and how phytochemicals may interact it or counteract it. This we will talk in tomorrow's presentation. आज यति गरौँ. Okay?
हुन्छ सर, हाम्रो अर्को क्लास पनि छ 7.
यहाँ इम्पोर्टेन्ट कुरा के छ भने कस्तो खालको क्यान्सर कस्तो फुडले लाग्छ अनि कस्तो त्यो क्यान्सरको प्रिभेन्सन लागि चाहिँ कस्तो डेली लाइफ अपनाउने. द्याट्स भेरी सिम्पल गाइडलाइन, एन्ड द्याट्स इनफ. प्रेजेन्टेसन इज इनफ टु कभर योर लेक्चर आवर्स. एक्चुअली सरपढी बुझिन्छ जस्तो कोलन क्यान्सरको लागि कस्तो फिड, ब्रेस्ट क्यान्सरको लागि कस्तो फुड है, एन्ड स्टोमक क्यान्सर कस्तो त्यसको सोर्स के कस्तो फुड, त्यसपछि रेक्टल ओसिफेजियल क्यान्सरको लागि कस्तो फुड. So there are given some typical examples. Please learn it. Right? त्यसपछि tomorrow we will discuss about plant phytochemicals or the food phytochemicals and their pathway to control heart disease and cancer. Tomorrow चाहिँ हामी त्यो पढ्छौँ. आज यति गरौँ ल है ल